Hey, what's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into our first episode of Just Chillin' in the Park.
Ayo.
Today, we have a very, very special guest star. Her name's Wonny. And could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Wonny. I'm 20 this year. And I'm a girl.
She's a girl. But
Say.
I actually heard that you're like trilingual. So does it mean like you're like half Korean or?
Oh, okay. So I'm full Korean.
Yeah.
I was born in Korea.
Okay.
But a month later, I went to Shanghai, China. And I grew up there for about 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm basically considered like a third culture kid because I grew up in international schools.
Mm-hmm.
That's why my English is so fluent.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, because I'm also from Korea too.
Mm-hmm.
And but I'd never been to like Shanghai, but I did go to Hong Kong. But I know Hong Kong's pretty like Americanized, and there's a lot of like British people.
Yeah.
So shout out to the British people who are living there. You guys are brave for going to China, I guess. But how is it like? Do you prefer Korea or Shanghai?
Okay, honestly, I grew up in the cities.
Mm-hmm.
So even when I went back to Korea at the age of 12, I was living in Seoul. So honestly, there's not much big of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
And they're really close. They're only like an hour and 30 minutes by flight.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really see like a big difference.
So I heard that you went to TCIS in Daejeon in Korea, right?
I did. It was
Okay.
a boarding school.
Okay.
I went there when I returned to Korea at
Okay.
the age of 12.
Okay, yeah, because I've been to a lot of international schools.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually know like some people at TCIS.
I
So
see.
shout out to the homies who go to TCIS. Much love and respect. But yeah, how did you like it when you went to like TCIS? Was it?
It was good. It
Mhm.
was a very, very small private Christian school.
Yeah.
It was like we were all like in our little own bubble.
Okay.
So we weren't really like out there,
Uh-huh.
but we had pretty good education, good people, good staff.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I've actually been to numerous like international schools.
Oh, like which
Like,
schools?
All the schools I've been to, like I feel like it got better and better every time I transferred.
Mhm.
Not that I'm saying like all the internationals I've been to before, like they're
Mhm.
trash or anything, but so don't get me wrong, y'all. But I've been to like the first international school I think I went to was like Indian Head. Have you heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, so Indian Head's like completely gone now, so I don't know what
Oh.
happened. So
I mean, there are a lot of like new international schools opening up in
yeah,
Korea.
I think
and,
that's so like crazy, like how because
know.
when I went to international school, I thought like Indian Head was like the only international school out there.
Yeah.
So I was like, dude, I'm like pretty cool, you know?
Yeah, so like the demand for like English education is like increasing.
Yeah, definitely.
Obviously anywhere in the
definitely.
world, but
So, yeah, so I went to Indian Head in Korea. So
Mhm.
basically, I grew up in Korea too.
Mhm.
So, but I do have like, I don't know, like a very American culture because I
Mhm.
was so used to that and I grew up in that kind of environment.
Mhm.
So I went to Indian Head, then I went to YES, which was ICS Seoul,
Yeah.
and then after I left, they went to a new campus, which was like hecka nice.
Yeah,
So I
it
was
is
just
nice.
like,
I used to play games against that school
yeah,
because we're in the same division.
yeah,
same pool.
yeah. So when I went to the new building, the new facility, I was just like, dude, like, I remember playing basketball outside because we didn't
Mhm.
have a gym, you know?
Oh, what a
And
scrubby
then-
school.
Yeah, I'm just like, dude, like, you guys, like, all my homies were telling me, like, dude, like, we have a gym now, we have a swimming pool. I was like, how come you guys didn't do that when I was there, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of not
but,
fair.
but then again, like, I didn't care because I was like a little kid, you know?
Yeah.
So I didn't really know what was gonna happen. But the third international school I went to was SFS.
Oh, you
So-
went to SFS?
Yeah.
I have so many friends there. My ex went there too. What's up?
Okay, wait, but
Good
Anyway,
memories,
yeah.
good times.
anyway, anyway, I went to SFS, and then SFS was a really nice school too.
Yeah, it is.
It was just like, yeah, the facility was huge. Like this time they had a swimming pool and like basketball courts and like indoor gyms.
I was actually
yeah.
supposed to go to that school too, but
Oh, really?
yeah, I got
Okay.
waitlisted
Oh, okay.
because
okay.
I was Korean.
Okay, okay.
Because I'm a fob.
Okay.
I didn't have the U.S. citizenship.
Okay. Hey, you watching SFS? Take some notes, all right?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
kidding.
You missed out on a good student here.
But did you play any sports in high school or like when you went to TCIS?
Ooh, I did.
Okay.
I played volleyball for a
Mhm.
little bit,
Mhm.
but mostly I helped out with like a lot of sports, just
Mhm.
like as a player manager, and
Mhm.
like I practiced with them, but I
Mhm.
didn't really go to games. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So did you play volleyball for 4 years?
Mm-mm.
No? Okay.
Mm-mm.
So when did you first start playing volleyball?
I think I started like sophomore year, like
Sophomore.
legitimately,
Okay.
but junior year I made it to varsity team,
Yeah.
and it was like a pretty like good season.
Yeah.
My senior year we went downhill. Like
Yeah.
it was not very good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It was understandable, but I forgot to mention so after I went to SFS, my grandma, she got sick in the US. So I also went to Diamond Bar High for like freshman year, and I also went to like Chaparral Middle School. So, and I also went to Diamond Bar High for like freshman one semester. But don't get me wrong, like I loved everything about those two schools because the environment, the culture was so like laid back and chill. Because everyone in California is just like, yo, dude, like what's up, you know? And I was always like wearing shorts, and the weather was like perfect. But after my grandma was all better and she got all like healthy and stuff, like I just didn't want to move back to Korea, you know? Like I was just like, yo, like I'm not moving, you know? Like why do I have to move? But then my
I'm
parents
sorry to hear that.
Oh no, it's fine cuz like I actually didn't want to move at first because I feel like it was just such a comfortable environment here, you know?
Yeah.
So, but then I totally forgot about how amazing Korea is, you know? So my parents, they were asking me and they were saying like, hey, like, do you want to go back to Korea or America? And I was just like, oh, I'm gonna stay here. And they're like, well, too bad you don't have a choice. And I was like, what? I was like, why? That doesn't make sense. Then why are you asking me in the first place, you know?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, because we want you to
Typical
go to
Asian parents.
Yeah. And then I was just like, why are you asking me then, you know? Like I already started my life here. Like everything is here now, you know? Because when I went to international school, I was just like a little kid, didn't really care about anything, you know? I was just like, oh yeah, like I'll go here if someone tells me to go, you know? Like everyone, when they're little, like they're either very like rebellious or they just listen to their parents, you know? But I was a good boy, so I listened to my parents.
I was such a bad kid growing up, literally.
But so I decided to go to Korea, and then I went to international school called CCS because I was trying to go back to SFS, but every year they just kept, you know, saying like we don't have space for you.
Yeah.
But I was just like, man, whatever, you know. But I feel like when I was at CCS, that was like the biggest moment of my life where I just kind of faced maturity, you know. That's where I faced like got involved with a lot of activities, you know. But guess how much like the graduating students were for my year?
20?
No.
What?
It was like 15.
10? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
My school was considered really small because I
Yeah.
had like 60, 70 people
Yeah.
in my graduating
Yeah.
class.
But
And like,
I mean, but still, like, you know, for me, like, it was a huge transition, you know, coming from like public high school, like going to like big schools like SFS, like Yes, you know, like Indian Head. They were like huge, you know, and I was just like, what the heck is this place, you know? I was just like, only 15 kids. But after a while, like, my parents did ask me every year, hey, do you want to go to SFS? Like, do you have a space for you? But then naturally, I just said, no, like, I want to stay because I feel like it was a family-based environment, you know? So there was that. And, but, I forgot to mention, like, I also heard that your school filmed a drama, Airs, right?
we filmed, my school, I gotta brag about this.
Yeah.
Honestly, my school, our campus is beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Literally,
yeah.
it's so beautiful.
Because I remember TCIS, like, it had like you guys had an old campus, right?
Yeah,
and
and
you
our
guys
old
moved
campus,
recently,
we used to study in like container boxes.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
ugly,
yeah.
but like people still liked it.
Yeah.
Like it was very like friendly. It was such a friendly environment for
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
But when we moved to a new campus, it was brand new, nice buildings, nice facilities.
Yeah, it was nice and toasty, huh?
Yeah. Well, like, and then we had like a couple of K-dramas,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
airs.
yeah.
They came to my school.
Yeah.
We filmed dramas here and there.
Yeah.
We had Icon come over one time just to take their pictures taken.
Oh, really? So
Yeah,
you guys had like,
Icon.
oh, that's awesome. Did you like actually talk to some of them, like the celebrities?
Okay, honestly, I'm not really big into like
Korean drama.
K-pop
Okay, okay.
or drama
Yeah.
culture,
Mhm.
so I wasn't very interested in like seeing the celebrities.
Uh-huh.
But obviously, like all my friends who stayed around the area would be like, "Oh my god, like they're here! I'm gonna
Yeah.
go see them." And
Yeah,
then
because
yeah,
that drama in particular, I remember it blew up.
It
was
did.
just crazy. 'Cause
Airs?
so many like
it's
famous,
basically like Crazy Rich Asians, but like the K-drama version.
yeah,
it's
and it's just like so many famous
I don't
actors
really
and
like it.
actresses on it, you know.
Yeah,
And I was like,
it's
when I
so
heard that your
cringe.
school was filming it, I was like,
Mhm.
that's crazy.
Yeah,
so I
my
remember,
school was pretty.
yeah, and I was just like, I was like, dude, like, I was asking my friends that went to TCS, I was like, dude, like, did you meet and talk to them? Because I know, like, some of the settings, like, they were walking by your lockers. And
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, what the heck is going
People
on?
are gonna
you
think
know?
we're such like privileged students or something.
Yeah, and then, but then the funny thing is, I actually met, like, Park Shin-hye. You know who she is?
Yeah. Do people say I look like her, Loki?
No, I don't. See
A little
that.
bit, right?
I don't see that. No, I'm kidding. But
Fine.
I actually met her at I was shopping for like a bow tie, like a
Mhm.
necktie for my banquet for my school.
Mhm.
And then I know people are gonna judge me like hell for this, but I
Mm.
was at H&M in Korea. So shout out to H&M in Korea for all the amazing bow ties, the amazing quality of your neckties.
Tight.
Yeah, you guys made me look sharp that day, so shout out to them. And then so anyway, I was just like browsing around, and then I went to the third floor, the men's section,
Mhm.
and then I saw someone very, very familiar, and I
And
was like,
gorgeous.
I don't know about gorgeous.
So what are you
but-
implying? You just agreed that I low key. Oh no, you agreed that I look like Park Shin-hye.
So,
So what are you implying?
nothing. I'm just saying, like, you don't look like her, but maybe but you do look better than her. That's for sure. That's for sure. That's for sure. But anyway, I was at the guy section, and she was there with her manager. Apparently, I was like,
Mhm.
and back then I had a huge crush on her, and I was just like, dude, that's Park Shin-hye, you know.
Mm.
So I remember calling my homie from high school, and I was just like, dude, like, you gotta get over here right now. Like, Park Shin-hye's at H&M.
Mhm.
And then he was around the area. He like literally took a cab. He ditched his own girlfriend. So yeah.
Did they break up?
uh,
So that's so sad.
yeah,
if
I
my
know,
boyfriend did that, I'd be so pissed.
yeah, but I think he kind of like made an excuse. But you gotta do what you gotta do, you know.
Is
But,
it okay to like expose him right here?
I do. I want to, but like I feel like he's gonna like send me death threats or something. Cause but he is in the army, so big shout out to him. You know, like you're almost
so
done, and
sad.
you came a long way. But
A lot of
anyway,
my friends.
he pulled through. We were at H&M, and then we were like both just like starstruck. So we were just like we had like our jaws opened, and we're just like, oh dude, like that's Park Shin-hye, you know? And then in my mindset, I was like thinking, why is she like in the guy section? You know, like why is she looking at guys' clothes? So I was like, dude, like is she like dating someone, like a celebrity? So me and my friend, we were like, back then we were too like scared to talk to her. So I remember like it was just me, her, my friend, and her manager, and the whole floor. So it was so quiet. And then we were just like kind of giving her like looks, and then she was just like she would like turn around, and then me and my friend would just be like, dude, she looked at me. No, she looked at me, you know. And then we were just like yelling, and then she'd probably like think like we're crazy, because I saw her expression one time like she turned around and she was just like, dude, who are those kids, you know? But then we were like, okay, we were just like, dude, okay, fine, like let's just be chill about this, you know. Like we don't want to like freak her out, you know. So we're just like, dude, let's play 가위바위보, like rock paper scissors. Whoever loses has to ask her for a picture. So both of us, like literally, like for 3 rounds straight, we would put the same thing, like paper, scissors,
That's
and rock.
intense.
Yeah. So every time we put the same thing, we were just screaming like, ah, right? And then she just like heard our screams, like 3 times in a row, and she was like really concerned, So my friend decided to do it because he was better than me in Korean back then. So he came up to her and he was just like, 예, 안녕하세요. 저기
사진 한 장만 찍어도
yeah, 저기
될까요?
우리 되게 큰 팬인데요. Like we were just basically saying like we're such huge fans. But then I pretended like I didn't know how to speak Korean at all. So I just told her in English. I was like, hey, like I'm your big fan.
Oh my gosh.
Is it okay if I take a picture? And then we like, cause we're alone, And then her manager was looking at us like, who are these like punks, like who are these like shekis, So for those of you who don't know, like shekis mean like a little bit worse meaning than punks in Korea. A lot of the Korean like ajushis, if they get mad at like those kids who are being brat, they'll be like, yeah, shekidara, But not, yeah, just throwing it out there. But anyway, so we asked her, my friend asked her, and then I was just like, oh yeah, I'm from America, so like can I please like get a picture with her? I'm just a big fan. And she gives us this look. She's like kind of smiling, and she's like, no. And I was like, what? She was like,
that's so mean.
yeah. So I remember like from that moment, I was just like, dude, I freaking hate her, man. Like she's like, she didn't even give like a picture with us. She didn't even give us an autograph. Cause I remember like, I was like, oh, then it's okay if we get an autograph. She's like, oh no. And I was just
let
like,
her be.
I was like, what in the world is going
No,
on?
dude, honestly, like that whole thing of like not being able to speak in Korean very well.
Yeah.
For me, I kind of like, I'm fluent in both English and Korean.
Yeah.
But I low-key take advantage of the fact that I'm bilingual.
Yeah.
So like in Korea, sometimes if I feel like the hosts are like, they're attacking me or something,
Yeah.
I'd be like, 저 한국말 잘 못해요.
Yeah,
like I would pretend I'm from
Yeah.
America or something.
Yeah.
And
But,
I'd be like, excuse me. Because like in Korea, if you
Yeah.
speak English very
Yeah,
well,
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's very like,
Yeah, people like judge, I feel like.
not too, but they kind of get scared.
Yeah, exactly.
So I take advantage of
Exactly.
it.
Because
People seem to hate me. I pretend like I'm from America.
but I remember like I love Korea, okay? So don't get me wrong when I'm saying this, but there's some like really, really judgmental people out there, Like,
I mean, isn't that everywhere though?
but I feel like because you know what I'm talking about, because we both grew up in Korean culture and we both grew up in a Korean environment. But you know what I'm talking about, like those drunk Korean ajushis who are always trying to fight, like always trying to start fights.
I mean, I was never like near those scenes
Yeah.
just because like my parents were very conservative. They were very strict with me. I had curfews.
Oh, okay.
So like I didn't really have to like deal with any of that. So like it
but
was fine.
I remember one time me and my friend from GSIS, like you've heard of that school, right? GSIS, yeah. We were playing basketball at his school's gym. We were on our way. We were riding the subway. And by the way, Korean subway transportation system is horrible. Like absolutely.
What?
It's nice.
It's the best.
It's nice,
We have the
but
best transportation system in the world.
It's
What are you talking about?
it's nice.
I'm so triggered.
No, I mean like it's nice. Like it's really clean. I love it. It's very convenient, but it gets hecka crowded. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I just hate that.
Okay, I
Like
get that.
especially in the summer. Like let's say people have to work,
Yeah,
and they're wearing the
no,
suits,
that's true.
and you're like sweating, and then once you get into subway, especially during rush hour,
Yeah.
like you're
No,
like,
I get what you mean.
yeah, you can like get soaked in other people's sweat sometimes.
Especially like line 2 and line 6.
Yeah,
the
and just
busiest.
stinks sometimes, you know? It's just like, it's gross. Like, I'm not trying to sound like a girl, but I want to keep myself clean, you know what I mean?
Dude, sometimes they will like touch my butt from the back. I know it's an
Yeah.
accident, but
Yeah.
like still.
But you heard about how Korean like technology is like kind of transitioning, right, to more safer environment. So like I didn't know till recently, but I actually bought my phone in Korea. And then I was trying to, like, during class here, I was trying to, like, take pictures, right?
Yeah.
But it make that sound, like, really
Oh
loud.
yeah, it makes it. Oh yeah.
So,
With Apple especially.
yeah.
Just saying, if you guys buy an iPhone in America, when you take pictures it doesn't make any noises.
Yeah.
But if you buy the Apple products in Korea, it's so loud. And
Yeah.
every time you take a picture, it goes like.
Yeah. So I remember like there were moments where I forgot that the sound was on and that I can't really do anything about it.
Yeah.
So I remember one time in class, the professor was like, "Oh, so guys, like if you guys want to take a picture of this, like you guys can, and like I know it's gonna be long, but just take a picture of it. Like I'll let you
Literally
guys
just
use it."
publicly humiliate yourself.
And then I was like, okay, and I was like, right?
Yeah.
And you know that one scene in Men in Black where they have that technology where they get rid of people's
Yeah,
memories?
yeah.
Yeah, I remember I was holding my phone like this, and then I was like, okay, right? And then that flash came on, and then everyone was just like, all at once, they were just like looking at me like this, right? And I was just like, I was literally like, oh, like sorry,
no.
right? And then I think the professor asked me like, hey, like we don't want like people exposing others, you know that, right? And I'm just like, oh yeah, I'm sorry, like I forgot that I got this film from Korea. And then when I said that, people were just like, what is he like talking about?
Yeah,
you know?
I hate it when teachers call you. I mean, I guess it's like our fault too.
Yeah.
Like back in high school,
Yeah.
when Snapchat was such a thing.
Yeah.
Like during class, I
Yeah.
would be like, kind of like secretly like Snapchatting my friends.
Yeah.
And then during class, like the sound is so loud. Literally,
Yeah.
my teachers like would catch me and my friends
Yeah.
every single time.
Yeah.
So not fair.
Yeah, I mean, like, do you want to explain to us why like Korean phones have that sound, or?
You guys can still talk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I think. I don't know.
Should I explain? Okay, because
No, actually, we really did. We just did.
Yeah.
We already talked about it.
yeah, but I feel like it's kind of like, you know, like I didn't realize it till when one of my friends told me why they had sound. You know, I was like thinking, man, we live in this just creepy, like scary environment. You know, and then do you have Netflix by any chance?
I don't.
Okay, so shout out to
More
Netflix.
of a Hulu person.
But yeah. Anyway, there's a show on Netflix called You, and it's about this stalker, like how he likes this girl.
I
And
mean, you stalked me too. Not that you liked me. but
okay,
you
that's a
stalked
different
me,
story.
so
Okay, I'm sorry,
I barely
but
know you.
if I wanted to like have a good, fun podcast, like I needed to do my own research,
Okay.
But anyway, yeah, like I found out that Korea has that sound because like I know there were a lot of like creepy people out there in the subway and the public transportation, like they were taking pictures of like girls. Like,
No, they would put like they will hide these like little cameras in
Yeah.
the toilet seats.
yeah.
Like in public
Yeah.
bathrooms. I don't know how they even got in there. But
I
they
actually
do
heard about that, yeah. And I've seen some like
So
movie clips
disgusting.
where like people like put little tiny cameras
Mhm.
into like the soap dispensers,
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
just
just
that,
like-
but like you know how K-pop culture is so big in
Yeah,
Korea?
yeah.
Literally these like fans
Yeah.
would put these little cameras. They
Yeah.
would hide it in like like when let's say I gave you a teddy bear.
Yeah.
They would put it in their eyes.
Yeah, exactly,
And
yeah.
like wash them from their houses
Yeah.
or something. That's
Yeah.
so
But you're not
creepy.
like, speaking of K-pop, like you're not really into K-pop, right?
I'm not.
Okay.
Yeah.
But what would you say about like how it's getting like bigger and bigger, especially in like the United States? You know what I mean?
I think to a certain extent. I mean, obviously, we can weigh out the pros and cons to it.
Mhm.
I read like a couple article about like how like girls who are so crazy about like K-pop
Mhm.
like culture,
Mhm.
like when they're fanning over someone,
Mhm.
they're less likely to
Mhm.
like commit to like sexual sins and
Mhm.
things like that.
Mhm.
And I think it's because they like someone that much that they're only focused on them. Like it was basically talking about that. And I
Mhm.
think when I think about it that way, it's good.
Mhm.
But otherwise, I can easily see how it could become an idolatry. Like
Yeah.
even amongst my friends,
Yeah.
like it's crazy. They literally
Yeah.
spent like thousands of dollars just like going to their concerts, buying their new album.
Yeah.
Literally, they're addicted to their phones, searching up like new pictures.
Yeah.
It's crazy, honestly. I'm really
Yeah.
not a big fan of it.
Yeah.
I think they're great.
Mhm.
It's not really my style of
Mhm.
music.
Did you like have a famous Korean celebrity while you were growing up?
No, I didn't.
didn't?
I really didn't. It's just
Oh,
not really into it.
Okay. Yeah, because I was so like surprised that like BTS It got so big here.
They won the Grammys, right?
Yeah.
They
I
won the
was
Grammys,
like,
right?
what in the world is going on?
Yeah.
You know, and then later on, I heard that Blackpink's coming to like having an American like
They're going to Coachella.
Yeah, like US tour,
I
you know, and then
know.
they were on like some I don't know, like late night TV shows as guest appearances. So I was like, dang, that's like actually crazy, you know?
First Asian group to be
Yeah.
on Coachella.
Exactly. And because I remember Epic High, they were actually like in Coachella too, and it was like very low key. But then I remember when Tablo, he exposed it in like his Instagram and like his social media. He was saying like it was kind of sad because like no one, like I guess like people reacted to it, but like not a lot of people in America were like kind of like
no one knew of him.
Yeah.
Actually, Tablo graduated from, I think, Harvard.
Stanford, I think.
Stanford.
Yeah.
I think he dropped out though.
Yeah, but he's
very Americanized.
Yeah, I actually met him. He was the most amazing guy that I ever met. Like, he was so sweet. He was so chill, you know. And then he was just like, he wasn't like those like, you know, celebrities who were like, oh man, like what are you doing? Like I don't want to like, you know, take a picture with you and stuff. So, but you know, like you said, you grew up in like international schools, right? Do you think like us international student kids have a typical stereotype?
Yes.
You do?
I do, for sure.
Okay.
When I was in Korea, we had some scandals of like, obviously, I guess like the typical stereotype of towards people who go to international schools would be, oh, they're so rich, oh, they're so privileged. Yes, I get that. Like the tuition is very pricey like, for middle school and high school.
Yeah, we're like crazy rich Asians, but the students
not everyone's like that. But I think because of that like stereotype, I think a lot of like Korean people, they just weren't fond of that because they thought students there were a lot more privileged. And obviously Korea is really big into like social hierarchy and like you get what I mean?
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean?
Like,
I'm very careful to talk about this.
Yeah, because I'm like, it's kind of funny because when I was on Facebook and stuff, I see like a bunch of memes being like, hey, like this is how like, you know, like international students like act like, you know. I'm just
and not just that, but even with the drama, like K-drama airs, it really reflects a lot of like the rich people society and like under a bad light. And I guess it does really reflect. It shows a lot of the true colors to it, but at the same time, not everyone's like that. And not all students who go to international schools are like balling. Like a lot of the parents are very, very, very humble and like. Not all kids are just rich.
I don't think like
their parents just make a lot of sacrifices just so that their kids could have a certain type of education. So I don't know. I think that stereotype is kind of like dangerous.
But I also think like the kids who are like actually like, you know, wealthy and stuff. I think like not all of them are like, you know, like D-bags or anything, you know. Like they're just like all nice and stuff. They're just like regular people, you know. And
they are.
It's funny because I always like, you know, like to make fun of people and roast them a lot. So whenever I play basketball, like I see them like buying like, you know, I don't know, like Off-Whites, Hyper Dunks, for example, you know.
Unnecessary.
Unnecessary. And I'm just saying like, dude, like those are nice shoes. And then they're just like, oh yeah. And I was like, you're really gonna like wear them though? But then for me, like I'm a basketball player, so like I understand wearing them is like super nice. You know?
And there's nothing wrong with that. But I think when people are too like arrogant about if they're not humble with their wealth, I think that's when it gives off people like wrong impression. And obviously like one person doing that could really misrepresent the whole group in a wrong way. And so 억울해.
That's true. But I'm like really big on food, so I love food in general.
You're so skinny though.
No, I gained a lot of weight actually, so I'm pretty sure if my mom's watching this, she's probably like, dude, like my son's got all like fat, you know. So, but then I saw like recently I started watching like a lot of like David So and like Dumbfounded. So if you guys are watching this, like you guys are huge like inspiration to me. So
Dumbfounded, I'm your fan.
Yeah, so big shout out to you guys. You guys are like amazing, you know. So I was watching David, so he's just like so funny, you know. And he's like oh, he's talking about food, and I was just like, dude, yeah, I remember, because you know how I went to like American public school, and then I went to like Korean international school, right? So when I went to American public school, like Justin could relate probably, but he's just like, I remember during middle school, like I got a pizza, and it was the most disgusting. So it was the most disgusting pizza I ever ate and witnessed in my life. You know, the cheese. I feel like it wasn't like, you know. I feel like the cheese wasn't real. You know? Yeah, and it wasn't. Yeah, it was all like, you know, like you can see like the lines, and it was all like glued to the box, and, you know.
Dude, I would have been grateful for that. Literally in Korea, I freaking loved American food, like burgers, fries, and like pizza. Even ever since I got here, literally they serve that every day at the cafe, and I'm actually like sick of it.
But
it makes me want to throw up.
So when I came to America, like I was like, hey, we're like the bibimbap, you know, like we're like all the good food.
Jjigae.
Yeah, the jjigae, you know, because I was so used to that while growing up. But then when I came here, I was like, man, I'm disappointed, you know. So I'm not saying like American public schools are like bad or anything, but they need to like step their game up, I guess.
I mean, it's been like 10 years since you got out of that school, so like you don't know how it changed.
Yeah, I guess. But we have someone who just came in. Her name is Claire. But she's like, okay, she's like the worst information like giver. So I don't know if I told you this before, but I was like really, really nervous because this was like my first podcast, and I wanted everything to be like in a perfect manner. You know? I
didn't expect this. I thought it was gonna be like a super casual, like one-on-one, like photo booth.
Oh no, I'm not filming. Effing around. I'm not effing around. I'm kidding, but
what's wrong with photo booth?
No, but then I was talking to Claire yesterday because I heard that you guys are roommates and stuff. So I was like, hey, like Claire, I need your help. And she was like, what do you want? And I was like,
I don't know if you're asking the right person. She's pretty useless.
Yeah, and I was like, she literally just gave me an answer. She was like, what do you want? And I was just like, hey, like I need your help, you know?
Can we say her full name, just like expose her?
Yeah, so Claire and Mazu. What's your Instagram?
Oh, she deactivated it.
Oh, so yeah, she's a big loser now.
But here's my Instagram. So. You can find her on my feed.
Yeah.
Is that big enough?
But anyway, she was giving me advice on like what I can talk to you about, and she was saying like, "Oh yeah, Wonny likes to take naps." And
everyone does.
I was like, "Doesn't everyone likes to take naps?" And she's like, yeah, she likes to take a lot of naps." I was like, "Okay, that a lot definitely helped me a lot."
I'm just sleep deprived.
But she didn't give me any information, so I was just like, "What am I supposed to do on tomorrow's podcast?" You know, like. I'm going to ruin my first podcast all thanks to her, you know?
Yeah.
But one of the things that, you know, I was really interested in, like, was that she told me that you're really big into fashion. And
yeah.
Yeah, because I'm really, like, into fashion, too. So.
I mean, I guess, like, the way I'm dressed right now doesn't really reflect that. I'm not big into fashion. I think I honestly like have to care a little bit because like my dad's into like fashion industry.
Oh, okay. Could you tell us something more about that?
Okay, well, he's a CEO. So he's in like a management position.
Oh, okay, for sure.
And I think, I mean, I guess like him just being Asian or something, he doesn't like it when I look so cheap and like not just like it's not. I don't think it's like necessarily like a pride thing. Yeah. It's more of like, oh, you gotta look like. It's like manners. Yeah. Like you have to look good in front of everyone. Not just for the sake of yourself, but for the sake of others. And so like that's why even like things like when I go to church, I could never wear flip-flops. Yeah. One time I like literally fought with him. Like we argued the entire morning because I really wanted to wear flip-flops and like he wouldn't let me during the summer. we live on the 28th. We live in the 28th floor in Korea. He threw my flip-flops out of the window.
Oh dang.
Seriously, it was intense. That's how much he hates it. That's why like he cares so much about like where I buy my clothes. Like I don't buy expensive clothes, but they have to look nice. Yeah. And like obviously he hates it when I wear a tank top.
Yeah.
And
but
like shorts.
Just kind of letting people know like Wonny's dad is not a bad dad.
Yeah, so he's very humble, intelligent.
I have very
affectionate.
Yeah. So 안녕하세요.
He is very affectionate.
Shout out to Wonny's dad if he's watching this. But
he's probably not gonna watch it.
But I guess a lot of the Korean parents are like very strict on rules, huh?
Okay, like my parents weren't like one of those typical Asian parents, but I mean, my dad was more of like the disciplinary one in the family, and so yeah. Yeah.
So like I heard that you have like a pair of $250 shoes.
What? Who told you that?
So I mean, like, what kind of brand was it?
Oh, it's one of my dad's companies.
Okay.
Brand. It's my dad's one of the brands that my dad's company
like kind
owns.
Of okay, for sure.
Yeah, well.
$250.
Okay, like
crazy.
My mom just got it for me. Yeah. It's actually my mom's. Yeah. But I asked on the day when she bought it, I was like, "Oh, that's so nice. Can I just have it?" Yeah. So she gave it to me.
Oh, okay, for sure. So yeah, because
my mom and I wear the same shoe size, and I take a lot of her clothes because I buy my own clothes, so they're kind of like cheaper. Yeah. My mom's like, she doesn't wear like super expensive clothes, but they're still like better quality than mine because I'm poor. I'm a student.
Yeah.
So I don't steal her like sweaters and stuff.
See, like the thing is, like a lot of the international student kids, like they're like such big hype beasts. You know?
They are.
I don't like.
Honestly, I'm not really about that. Like,
especially the guys. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like even the younger generation today, and like especially in the public American schools, there are guys who like literally like hire someone to stand in line for them for like the next dropout shoes, you know, or they're always on their phone like waiting for the alert to come up, you know. So it's crazy because like I'm a big like I like fashion, or I don't know if my fashion's good, so don't judge, but I feel like I really like learning about fashion.
I'm actually already judging you. I know.
But I really like
who is Champion these days?
Hey, Champion is a Champion.
I don't wear Champion.
Champion is a good brand, all right? So shout out to Champion. If you guys ever watch this video, like send me some like goodies, you know?
You think they'll actually sponsor you?
They might.
Literally, it's the first episode.
But we never know.
What was your YouTube name again? J Peaks?
No. Okay.
J Peaks?
My YouTube name was supposed to be J Peaks, but I changed it today.
I think that could really like imply like different things.
Oh yeah, it was today. I changed it because I called my homie from New York because we kind of knew each other since Korea. So I called him. I was like, "Yo, like how's it been? You know, it's been a minute. You know." He was like, I was like, "It's been good. You know." He was like, "Oh, it's been good," and I was just like, "Okay." And I was like, "Oh, I'm doing my own podcast." I was like, "Can you give me like support and stuff?" I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "What's your name, right? Like, what's your podcast name?" I was like, "Oh,
J
Peaks, you know." And then they were like, and he was like, "Oh, like I don't like, I like that, you know." I was like, "What does it stand for?" I was like, "Cause my name is JP, so you know, J Speaks, you know, J with the instead of the S in the Peaks, you know, it's the Speaks. I just put the JPEAKS." But then I switched it because my friend, he was researching and he was like, "Oh, dude, like someone has that name." I was like, "Dude, like that was such a creative name." So I had literally had 5 minutes to like think of a name. So I was freaking out and I was like calling my friend and we were like Skyping, webcamming, and he was like laughing at me. He was trolling. I was like, "Dude, you gotta help me. Like I don't want to ruin this, you know." So we were thinking of names, and then so my full name is Justchillinthepark. So I was thinking, "Oh, just chilling in the park." And then my friend was like, "Oh, that's a nice name." And I was like, "Yeah,
it's generic though. I'm pretty sure someone else has it."
No, nobody has it.
Literally, there's so many Justin Parks in this world.
Nobody has it. I checked it. I literally checked it.
All the Koreans in America have the name Justin Park.
But nobody has the name Just Chill in the Park. So so And then my friend's suggestion to me was, what about J Peanut? I was like, dude, I'm not gonna name my podcast J Peanut. I was like, dude, my podcast is not about like little kids, like, you know, for like little kids watching. Peanut. So
J Peanut.
Oh, now you guys are like, not on my side, huh? So I didn't like the name J Peanut. So I was just like, oh, what about like something casual, like just chilling in the park. So it was nice. Because I remember talking to one of my friends, and we were just talking and we were like thinking of names. And then she actually was like, dude, like, you suck with names. Like,
yeah, you do. I don't really like just chilling in the park. Like, I don't know who this friend is, but I really don't like it.
Alright, but for now, we're going to keep it like that, alright?
Okay, well, why not like just biking in the park?
Just biking in the park. But I don't bike though.
But you don't, do you ever go to parks?
Oh yeah, like I had an assignment recently, like saying like, oh, go hug a tree.
That's such a lie.
So, yeah, and then he was like saying like, oh, you have to like sit down in a tree and like
you have to hug it. Oh
like,
yeah,
hug it. So people
something you would do.
Yeah, I love hugging trees. I love trees. You know, I'm trying to be eco-friendly. Yeah. So I remember I literally just went out the park, like literally went out of my house, and then there were like, cause I have a park in front of my house. And then like I see like a lot of like these old people. They're like walking their dogs and they're having a good time. And then you just see me just like hugging a big tree. And I'm just like looking up like this. And then people were just, I remember one time this old guy was like, his dog was just like barking at me like crazy. And then I was like, and then this old guy was like, excuse me, like, what are you doing? You know? And I was like, oh, this is for assignment, so like I gotta do it. And he was like, okay, and he just walks away, and I'm just like, man. So I like, for now I'm just gonna keep the name Just Chilling in the Park. But I mean, if anyone else has a good suggestion, I mean, you guys could always throw that out. But anyway, I heard that you have a younger sister too, right?
No. Younger sister?
Yeah.
No.
But do you have any?
Did my roommate say that?
Yeah, she did. So I don't know if she's.
I have an older brother.
Oh, okay, older brother. Okay, so did he go to international school too while growing up?
He did. So he graduated in an international school in Shanghai, and then he went to college in Korea. He's hecka smart. He is in the is doing the military service right now.
Oh dang!
But he's actually working instead because he's in like the computer science field.
Yeah.
So he's into programming. Yeah. He's in the gaming industry.
Yeah.
So
speaking of the military, I actually like came out from the military recently.
I heard.
Yeah. So, man, I can't imagine what your brother's like going through. So.
Actually, like he's not doing one of those like typical like physical training type of military. Yeah. He's in like, so his service period is like longer. So usually it's around like 2 years. For him it's 3 years because he earns money at the same time. So his service period is longer. So he hasn't graduated college yet. So he's actually like literally sitting down on the computer programming and like working.
Oh, so okay. That's nice for him.
It's called Pyeongtaek.
Yeah,
I know. I don't know how to say it.
For me, like I've went through every like, you know, training.
Yeah, have you gone through this gassy thing?
Yeah,
where, like,
that was
literally like your snot comes out. Just like
it's funny because like people went. It's funny because
literally
when it came
to drooling. Like
yeah, it is like what it felt like was. I remember they told me to wear the gas mask on, and then we had to grab the person in front of our shoulders. You know. We were walking like little caterpillars, you know. And all of us were so scared because we don't know what the hell is gonna happen, you know. We were just like, oh my gosh, like this is it, you know. And then because like the guys who already went to the army, they're just like, dude, man. Like,
it's honestly so sad because like when so past winter break, I met up with some of my guy friends from my high school, and they're all serving in the military right now. Literally, we meet up for dinner. Yeah, we sit down. I have so much to talk about because I'm actually on campus. I have so much going on, like with my boyfriend, with my friends, like school. But literally, all they have got to like talk about is like military stuff. How they like clean the snow at 6 a.m. in the morning. So lame. Yeah. Oh, I love them. I love my friends.
Yeah, but So when I went to gas room, it was like, for me, like I had no experiences, you know. I don't have an older sibling. I just have a younger brother. And he's in the army too right now. So for me, like I witnessed that first before he did, you know. So no one told me, because I always had like friends who didn't go to the army yet, or they were, you know, they never went in the previous, like before. So I was like, I didn't know who to ask. Like, oh, what must, like, no one told me about, like, you had to go through this, you had to do this, and you had to do this. So it was all new to me. It was all new experience for me. And it was worse for me because back then, like, I couldn't speak fluent Korean. And, like, I didn't know what, like, the Korean guys...
Korea, they care so much about, like, formality and speech. So
I thought my Korean was good compared to my other friends. It was kind of fluent, you know? Like, I was, like, I could go for, like, hours and hours without making a mistake of, like, Korean, you know?
Yeah.
But then in the army, like, you use a different terminology.
You do. Yeah. It's like your figure of speech is different.
Yeah.
It's very different.
So I remember when we were going to gas room, I was like, oh my gosh, like, what am I supposed to do, you know? So I went in, and then it was fine because we wore the gas mask. And then they were like, okay, ladies and gentlemen, like, okay, like, gentlemen, we're going to take off the gas mask and unscrew it, you know? And then we're just like, holy crap. And then as soon as the gas went in, like, all of us were just, like, freaking out and panicking.
Did any of you guys faint?
I saw some guy fainting, actually.
Oh my gosh.
So I was really, like, scared.
It's honestly very concerning with people who have actually has, like, medical issues.
Yeah.
That's why you guys gotta be healthy. Yeah. My brother, he, like, doesn't eat very healthy. His sleep schedule is, like, so messed up. Yeah. I was so concerned for him because he saw to go through, like, a month of, like, training, like, physical training. Yeah. We were so, like, my parents were, like, about to cry because they saw my little brother and his, like, bald head, and he's, like, standing there with, like, this. Yeah.
So
I was so happy to be honest.
I mean, like,
like, good for you, man, good for you.
But I mean, like salute to all the army soldiers out there, you know. They're all you know, doing their job,
protecting our country.
So I know before I wrap up, I want to ask you one last question. So you grew up in, like, the American environment and the Korean environment, right? The Asian community. What do you think is, like, the biggest cultural difference, like, shock wise? Were you culture shocked in any of the two countries?
No.
You weren't?
Because even if I grew up in China and Korea, I had a lot of, like, American, even if they were just Asian Americans, I had a lot of American friends. And, like, even my teachers were, like, either, like, British or Canadian or, like, Australian sometimes, and they were mostly American. So nothing was ever, like, new or shocking because obviously I hear a lot from them. If anything, I think coming to America for college, that's when I actually started learning a lot more about, like, the US history. And I think that's what shocked me the most. Because I know to a lot of my friends, this was so, like, weird. But even with, like, incidences like 9/11, I didn't really know about it until, like, my junior year of high school. Because obviously, like, I get that I grew up in international schools, but I was never in America. And they don't necessarily just teach American history. We learn about world history. And you know, we're not just focusing on, even if we had the American curriculum, we don't always focus on US history. So even with, like, big incidences like that, like, I didn't know like how many states there were in America until I got here. And then that's when I started learning their geography and, like, just little things like that.
Oh, okay. So last question, would you prefer living in America or in Korea later in the future?
Personally, I don't really... I'd be fine living anywhere, because, like, I grew up traveling a lot. So, like, I think I'm pretty adaptable to any environment, even if it was, like, India or something. But I prefer to, like, live in Asian countries, because I think that's where my family is, and, like, I could just, like, go to them anytime. And so...
All right. Well, first of all, thanks for coming through as our first guest of the first episode. But do you want to give a shout out to anyone before we end?
No.
Okay, well.
No, not really.
Yeah, what about your roommate? She's waving right there. So, but Yeah, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah, you're welcome.
And